making taco soup. Now, I'm limited on some ingredients, but I have enough to make taco soup. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. Alright, I've got my hamburger meat, ground chuck hamburger meat in the skillet. And take your ground hamburger meat, brown it, which is what I've done. Put salt and pepper, you know, season every element of your dish separately. That's what I like to do. Alright. You brown your hamburger meat, salt and pepper it. Now, the next step, we're going to add some Lawry's seasoned salt. It's got an awesome flavor. Love to put it on chicken. Alright, add a little bit of Lawry's. Okay. Stir it up. Okay, now we're going to add, I got these two seasoning packets from the discount grocery actually. And this one is Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning pack. It's a buttermilk ranch seasoning pack. It doesn't have to be buttermilk, it can be regular. But the only thing that makes this buttermilk is that you add buttermilk. So this is ranch seasoning, and this is Taco Bell taco seasoning. 25 cents, 29 cents at the discount grocery. Mom hacks. Alright, we're going to tear open this taco seasoning. Put it in there. Kind of spread it out a little. Alright. We're going to tear open this ranch seasoning. Alright. We're going to put it in there. Same principle, kind of spread it out. Alright. Give that a stir. Incorporate it into the meat real good. Alright. Taco soup, really, other than the meat, is just seasonings, canned stuff, water. It's a real easy recipe. Now, normally I would use canned corn, but in this situation, I did not have any canned corn, but I had some frozen corn on the cob, and this is thawed out a little bit, but it's still kind of cold and a little bit firm, which will make it easier to excuse me, make it easier to cut off the cob. Okay, so I guess we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to cut the corn off the cob. Alright, we're going to put the big side down. Alright, so we're going to get that corn in there in that taco soup. I'm using a fillet knife, but you don't necessarily have to use a fillet knife. I'm just using what's efficient for me. Not all of us have, you know, every utensil in our kitchens all the time. So sometimes you just got to make do with what you got. And this fillet knife is working wonders for cutting this corn off the cob. Doing exactly what I want it to do. Alright. Cut as close as you can without cutting the cob with it. Get as much of that good corn as we can. My great-grandmother, she never believed in wasting anything. She kind of handed that belief down to me about wasting things. She lived through the Great Depression, and she didn't believe in wasting anything, and I think that's a very good characteristic to take on. A lot of younger people, they don't understand that concept. because, you know, some of them, they've never had to really do without, you know. But, technically, you know, something as simple as cutting the corn off the cob, we're not doing without. There are people in this world much, much worse off, and we should be thankful every day for even the little things that we have. Now, some of this corn will break on up once I put it in there. We're just going to kind of help it a little bit break up. Alright, so now we're going to take that corn and put it in there with that meat. Scrape it on in there. Nice fresh corn taste. Alright, it smells super good. Smells like tacos. Alright. Now the next part is opening cans. Alright. This is red kidney beans. You can also put pinto beans, but we didn't have any, so we're just going to use some kidney beans in this recipe. Alright, we got our red kidney beans in there. I'm going to put 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Don't be afraid to add that juice that's in the can in there too. You know, with the beans, we only got 1 can of beans we're putting in there. Just add that juice too. Won't hurt it. That tomato juice especially, add that in there. There's really not any point in draining the tomato juice off the diced tomatoes and then turning it around and adding some kind of tomato juice to it. That just doesn't make much sense. Alright. Second can of tomatoes going in. Alright, let's give it a stir. Alright, we got that in there. Now this is some homemade hot sauce that I made from jalapenos, red and green, and I believe they're called bird peppers. I'm not sure. We're not going to add a lot of this because those little bird peppers or whatever they're called are hot. We're going to add just a little bit for a little kick. Couple drops. Alright, now that little bit will flavor this whole pot. Alright. There's a lot of things you can add to this recipe, but this is just a simple, quick supper. Mom doesn't have time to do a long, elaborate recipe kind of recipe. Alright, now we're going to add some onion powder. Alright. Loosen that up a little bit. Alright, now, kind of measure it out in my hand. We want a nice kick of onion in there. Alright. Got some onion powder in there. Let's do some chili powder. A little bit of chili powder. Alright. Some cumin, which, you know, that's in the taco seasoning. We're just going to amp it up a little bit. So we have 1 pack of taco seasoning, and you can make your own homemade taco seasoning pretty easy. Cumin is one of those big flavors for the tacos, or some maybe Mexican cooking. We're going to add just a little bit of oregano. Not a lot. This we're going to add just a little bit of. This is coriander lime seasoning. We're going to add a little bit of that. Alright, now we've already got salt and pepper in there. Keep in mind when we season the meat. Ooh. I have an angry 2-year-old. Now I am going to go get some water to put in this. And I'll show you about where you want it in your pot. Okay. 1 glass of water when it needs some more. And this recipe is done in no time. You can serve it with cheese, sour cream, some green onion, or spring onion, or whatever you like to call it. Chives. You can also serve it with a couple slices of avocado on top.